Hello. Recently, the US and the UK, their forces left Afghanistan after, nearly 20 years. And in what condition is Afghanistan today? It's in a sorry condition. There's a meeting today or yesterday in a place called Avaza, meeting with all the stands, Tajikistan, Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan. In fact, the president of Turkmenistan, who's a fellow called President Gurbanguly Berdymukhamedov, has said that the question of Afghanistan is a question that worries us all, and it really should worry us all. Today, there was a man who left his government office in order to attend Friday prayers. So this is something that's happened very, very recently. He's a man called Dawa Khan Minipal, and he was killed. Now he's described as the head of media in the government, but he was actually President Ghani's spokesperson. He's part of the government inner circle. And what the Taliban is saying is that it can get that far. So all that effort that we put in over the last 20 years looks, in the space of, a month or so, to have come to nothing. I'm very, very concerned about this. You know, there are towns in Afghanistan which are now being overrun by Taliban forces, Srebregan and Jawzan, and there's serious problems in Helmand province, which we know of course, because of the UK involvement, the UK troops in Helmand. And Lashkar Gah is under attack. This is the site of the main intelligence centre in Afghanistan. It's also the site of a major prison. The Taliban hasn't been without casualties itself, so the Afghan forces, who've been trained by the West, have fought back valiantly. So, for example, we know one casualty among the Taliban forces, a fellow called Malawi Mubarak, though the Taliban significantly won't confirm this. And we also know that there's a sort of popular movement of defiance among particularly the younger Afghan population, who, for example, the other day, I think it was reported today on the front page of the Telegraph, that people have got on their roofs in Herat and Kabul and shouted, "Allahu Akbar, God is great, and God is in control." And when you look at the Taliban, rather like when you look at ISIS, how do we know that these two organizations, which purport to be Muslim, are bad or not right? How do we know this? Well, there's a simple test, and it's a test which you can apply, for example, also in the Ottoman Empire. The Ottoman Empire comes off very well. The Taliban and ISIS come off very badly, and it's called the idea of Ibrah. And Ibrah is a principle in Islam that you don't destroy the great buildings, the sacred buildings of other people, because this is the history against which you are being measured. So there's no point in being hugely successful if we can't tell the history of how we got to that point. And we look around us, particularly in the Ottoman Empire, in places like Istanbul, and we look around at the number of churches that survived the Ottoman attack on Constantinople. Some of the churches, of course, were converted into mosques, but the architecture, the basic structure, remains. And that is the principle of Ibrah. As the same thing also, if you really want some really good Greek monuments, the place to go is modern Turkey, because of this principle of Ibrah. And the Sultan, at the height of the Ottoman Empire, The Sultan had to be consulted for permission to remove bits of a sarcophagus, bits of a wall, bits of a Roman or Greek temple. And firmans were issued. And in fact, it's a debate about that which lies behind the sale and the acquisition of the Elgin marbles, which today form such a major collection in the British Museum. How did Lord Elgin get permission to take those marbles from Greece at that time? Certainly he had the paperwork. But it was paperwork which is very much an exception to the rule of Ibrah, which was firmly understood by the Ottoman Empire and is firmly misunderstood by ISIS that blow things up, by the Taliban that destroy great monuments. So that is why they are wrong. That at least is why I think they're wrong. There are so many other things that they do wrongly, but that, the principle of Ibrah. So please do follow my site and ring the bell down there, ring the bell. Bye bye, see you later.